Okay, we're going to go over the assembly of the Cradlepoint that has built-in SIM cards. So we've got all of our different pieces here, the antennas, the Cradlepoint itself, power supply, and a Cat5 cable. We're going to start off by attaching the antennas onto the Cradlepoint. On each side of the Cradlepoint, you'll see 3 antenna jacks. It's important to connect the antennas to the appropriate jacks. So we're going to connect antennas to the main and aux connector that's on both sides, so that's 4 antennas. And they're all going to screw on here. And then you can just rotate the antennas up and make sure that you rotate the connector here so that it'll bend in the direction that you want it to go. Otherwise you might snap the antenna. We don't want that. And they can just kind of sit here on the side. You have the ability to adjust them, but usually you don't need to fuss about that too much. So once you got all of those screwed on there appropriately, then we're going to power up the device. So we've got our power supply here, and so the power supply connects on the back side of the Cradlepoint. There's a power connector on the one side. Just go ahead and plug it in there. And then you can take the end of the cable and actually, if you kind of shove it in here and pull back, it kind of snaps into the retainer here, like that. And then put that back in there. And then we're going to plug it into a power source. We have a power strip handy right here. To power the Cradlepoint on, after the power connections have been completed, there is a switch on the back side that needs to be flipped up. And then we're going to let it go through its startup process and wait till we've got the appropriate indicator lights. This can take anywhere from a minute or two. But essentially you should see the green light. First one here is for power. And then you'll have some signal indicators, which are the right 4 lights. And on from there, there is a detailed listing of all the different lights in the DTP to let you know what those are. But essentially, once you've plugged it in and go through the startup process, it's essentially good to go. Now, the Cradlepoint itself does have built-in Wi-Fi, but we do not utilize that functionality of the equipment. It is strictly a wired network device as far as how it provides connectivity. On the back side of the device, you'll see the Cat5 ports that we connect equipment to. So ports 1, 2, 3, and 4 are essentially the ports of the switch that is on the device. There's a 5th port that says WAN on it, and we do not utilize that port in our setups. So in a very simple network, we would just take some network cable, plug it into the port there, and then plug it into our end devices, or possibly another one of our UniFi switches if we needed additional ports. And we can also plug in our WAPs into that to provide connectivity. Understand though, if we are using our Red Cross WAPs, that we do need to use the power injector to get those going. Now that the device is kind of finished its setup here, you see you've got 4 blue signal lights. It's got a nice strong signal. I've got a green power light and a green network light there. So we are good to go.